If you want to fly on a helicopter to practice, you can. Because you're the best player.
Nice, man. This is good. I like what we're doing here. Complimenting me. I like that. Okay, welcome to the LARKAST.
Feel that? You feel the energy?
It's been a hot
Dude,
set.
you got it going, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's been a hot minute. The funny thing was we
Oh, yeah, he's back.
we did this. We did this. All right.
No.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah,
No,
right,
I'm just
man.
letting you know. I'm behind
Dude,
you.
you're going up. Each time. Aaron knows how to work you.
Yeah, apparently.
Like each time we go. Okay.
The funny thing is we did this once before, right? Because we did the mini LARKAST,
This is the mini LARKAST,
which was solid.
which just turned into a LARKAST.
Yeah, which just turned into, well, no, it wasn't that long.
Well,
right?
I was like, let's do like more of them, and it was supposed to be like throughout. but
right. Well, that happened, and we were like, about to be consistent.
Yeah.
about to be the best. That way, when we have the whole band, like it's gonna hit big.
This is the story of every undedicated podcast.
Yeah, I know. And then
So we're back.
and then boom, quarantine. So we're back again.
Back again.
We have a lot of exciting stuff happening.
who's back?
Actually happening now. What?
Yes.
We have a lot of exciting stuff actually happening now. We were doing a lot of exciting stuff back then, and I feel like every time we do a podcast, we're doing cool stuff. But this time we have like products to put out. Every time it's been like stuff behind the scenes. We're recording, we're talking about this, we're writing, we're something like that. But now we have something to show people that I'm very excited about. I think we all are because IMHO, all caps. I think that that is
Hashtag.
IMHO hashtag.
Yeah, it goes after.
That's what it is.
Yep.
I think it's a really good representation of where we're at now and kind of where we're headed too, because I think that the farther and farther we get from the glow, it's not that it doesn't represent us anymore. It's just like when you look at pictures of when you were when you're a kid, you're like, man, I love that fire truck. It's not that you don't like fire trucks now. It's just that
They don't hit as hard.
Huh?
They don't hit as hard.
Yeah. Fire trucks don't bang like they used to.
Yeah, open a fire truck on Christmas Day now.
Right.
Actually, if somebody gave me a fire truck, I might be kind of lit.
Rescue Heroes or just like Fisher Price?
I don't even know.
Dang, dude, that's like the Pepsi of kids'
The
toys.
only reason I
dude.
remember Rescue Heroes is because they had them at the doctor's office, and I was always confused of why their feet were so big. Like
Wait.
more so.
Wait, you're
Like more so than they should be.
You're Coke over Pepsi?
No,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Pepsi. Pepsi is
sure.
just like the lesser, like
Oh
the
my.
lesser of the two, right?
Are you a Pep?
Oh wait.
Pepsi is
Come on.
way better
Oh.
than Coke.
You're being ironic, right?
I'm not.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Pepsi is way better than Coke.
Well, okay. I will say this:
That's
I
not-
have moods of where I would enjoy a Pepsi or where I would enjoy a Coke. But
That is the
but-
most
but
Garrett
if
response
somebody,
about
but
something
if
like
somebody
this.
were to
That is
ask
the
me
most
which one is
Garrett
better,
response.
it is Coke.
So what?
Sorry, I'm
give
a
me-
man of variety.
Give me a for instance. When do you go like
When I want
When
it.
do people hand you both of them and you go like, oh, obviously it's Coke? Are you stupid? And then what's the other situation where they hand you them both?
It's
and you
all
say,
based on like what I'm feeling in the moment. Like, what would I enjoy more?
That's also
the Pepsi
very,
or a
It's
Coke.
also a very Garrett
But it's not like
response.
food. What's happening with the food in the moment? It's how you're feeling.
You mean like
in the
emotionally?
Well, that would probably play into it too if there's food paired with it. But that wasn't said.
Okay,
Fight
okay.
me.
That's the situation that I'm talking about. What food does somebody give you where you go like, obviously Pepsi?
Oh, it doesn't work that way. It's just whatever I'm feeling in the moment.
See, I'm thinking you. I'm
And
thinking
the
you
food
said.
can call for certain
I'm
things.
thinking you
Like,
said-
for
I'm
instance,
willing
for
to talk about this for the rest of
Here's
the
one,
podcast.
here's one.
Tell me how it works.
See, it's not.
Because I thought like I was thinking, like white wine, you get some fish, but you have red wine,
Sure.
you want to get some.
Yeah,
that's
I
what I
thought
thought
that's
it
what it
was
was.
too.
That
for
might
you.
pair the best, but is that really what you want in the moment?
So
It all just depends on what you want in the moment. So, like for instance, I
Okay.
went to go get tacos.
I want what you guys
back
want.
before quarantine ruined everything, and this awesome taco place, Taco Loco. It is on Lancashire and Oxnard.
Okay.
Go support that place because it's really good.
So,
I
what
got
do you think
tacos.
about Taco
See,
Loco?
funny- Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm
Anyway, it's really good. But what paired really well with that was a Mexican Coke with pure cane sugar in a bottle. And it just worked. It's one of those
sorry.
things.
Oddly enough, I get that. I don't know why I get that, and I don't get the sometimes Pepsi
See,
thing.
sometimes you can't explain things, right?
Well, I can. It's just stupid.
I remember the first time-
That's why I didn't want to say it.
Okay.
No, but I guess.
So what you guys saying is the glow is Pepsi.
I remember the
and-
very first
No,
time
no, I don't
Josh
think
said he told me to explain why I don't like something, and I was like, no, Josh, it's deeper than that. For this whatever this like example that
Yeah, I
had
don't
like
remember
so
what we're
many
talking about, but I remember this
this
conversation.
this example that had so many layers to it, and then he was like, no, dude, this is how it works. I don't like ham sandwiches. Why? Because I don't like ham. That's why. And I was like, dude,
Great. I agree with that, Josh. I agree with that reasoning.
It's so. I've like grown.
The
but
point
it's-
was that
we're
there
not
was
all
a
robots, Josh.
The point was that there was a reason. That was the point.
Have you ever
never heard
met
of
somebody
that.
that's like, well, you're making it sound worse than it is. It
That's
doesn't
the
quite
point.
work like this. I don't like being trapped. I'm a
It's okay.
complicated man.
I'm not trying
My
to trap.
trap. He was about to ask me a question, and I'm just gonna I just put it out there.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
trying to trap you. I just want to understand you.
Yeah. What would?
Okay,
What would
okay.
afford-
I'll look out for it next time. Whenever I'm like, oh, why did I want Pepsi now instead of a Coke or a Sprite or literally anything else on the planet?
Because I could see an answer. I could see a very Garrett answer being like, well, my granddad, he used to.
No.
He used to push me on a tire swing. He always had Pepsis. So
You
when
think I'm like super nostalgic?
So when I no, I don't think you're
Well,
nostalgic.
you're not nostalgic, but you're.
I don't think
There's
you're
a story to everything that
idealistic.
works.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and I think we said this word once, and Garrett, you might have come around to it. I don't know, but but like the word romantic, I think that like fits
Oh,
you
yeah.
in a lot of situations.
Well, I believe I'm a 4, which is the romantic, the Enneagram.
There we go.
I'm
Yeah.
still reading the book, but
I skimmed it. It's pretty good.
dude,
Sorry, I actually read. I
got
read
the information I need.
I read. Yeah. I just said that to be funny.
Information absorbed.
I read the parts that I liked for sure, and I liked a lot
I
of it.
read the
Yeah.
parts that I like.
Yeah. It's good.
If you like it, I like it. If you don't
Well,
like it,
I don't
That's the
like,
most
I don't
nine
like
thing.
that. That's what I don't like. So, and you're just like Pepsi.
I like Pepsi more than Coke. But I noticed that an ad can really get me. I could be in the movie theater and they show the bubbles from the Coke, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, man.
no, I can't get Pepsi. I gotta get Coke.
Oh yeah, man.
See, to me, it's the
Yes.
carbonation.
That's-
the
see,
carbonation is what
I'm
makes
like
me.
I'm like
choose
the
Coke.
perfect person. The
You
nines
feel
are
like
the
Pepsi
perfect.
has less?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I think really just the advertisement got me liking Pepsi more than Coke. When they switched the cans from the weird blue,
Like when
to,
Kylie Jenner
the
walked
cool-
out, and grabbed the Pepsi.
No, that's
Was
really
that
what
Kylie?
did
I
it for me.
love that.
That's what
That
did it
really
for me.
did.
That's really funny.
Dude, Pepsi's luck with commercials are just bad.
It's bad.
It's like Michael Jackson, like Kylie Jenner.
I don't remember the Michael Jackson one.
His hair caught on fire
Yep.
during the.
How do I remember this?
Dude, it's a thing. Look it up.
I think the more
Climate change.
that I learn about Garrett,
The less I like him.
the more the more I enjoy the reasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the it's like I want to know the. Well, this sounds insulting. I don't mean it this way, but it's like I want to know I don't care about the facts as much because
You're just curious about how. you got there.
it's like yeah.
You're like a tin. You're like the Tin Man. You want to know what it's like to
No.
have a heart.
No, no, I like this.
Oh,
pl-
now I get
I
it.
like this
Now
story.
I
I like
get
this storyline, but that's not what it is.
No, it literally just comes down to when somebody asks you. If somebody asks me do you want Coke or Pepsi? It literally would just come down to the moment of me just being like, which one would I have more fun drinking? I guess, or which one would taste better right now?
Okay, so here's what I.
It all just depends.
Here's the deal. I'm a
Nothing nostalgic.
I'm like a gut reaction person. I am in a lot of ways. I am. Doesn't mean I don't have informed opinions. It just means that a lot of times those things inform my gut.
Yeah,
Do you wanna eat-
yeah.
Do you want to eat steak or chicken right now? If you had to eat,
Steak,
why?
because I've had chicken a lot lately.
Okay.
But so what all of that explanation boiled down to is you basically just said sometimes you just feel it in your gut. That's what you just said.
Sure.
Why is it? And I want to know this not just about you, but just people in general. Why is life not like that for you all the time?
Where you're just
Because life is just literally like that for me 24/7. So I really don't understand why it's not like that.
well,
for
some
people
people
all
it's
the
not
time.
clear. For me, it's not clear sometimes.
What as this is your choice or this is your choice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
depends.
it might be
Yeah.
hazy.
This is my choice and this is my choice. It's I don't know. If somebody's what do
There's
you want to do
probably
today?
another option.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. But if you told me, like, hey, how do you feel about, like, going to the mountains today? I'd be like, that sounds great. Let's do it. And if you were like, I don't know, I want to go to the beach, I'd be like, I mean, that sounds cool, too.
They mean the same
They
thing.
mean
Even
the
your
same-
gut's a 9.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, everybody's just not clear cut as you.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, how my brother is. He's just like, I want to do this, that's why I'm doing this.
Is your brother an 8?
I don't know what my brother is.
I'd be curious to see what your brother is.
What's, like, never mind.
No, say it. No, say it.
No, I love
say it. He watches
I feel like
this.
we've been repairing our
Yeah, he's
relationship.
probably the only
lately.
one that watches it.
We've been repairing our relationship, so I'm trying
Nah,
to.
I'm just playing. I don't have brothers and sisters, so I don't understand those relationships at all.
Yeah,
how
like
fragile,
partly why
how fragile they
you don't
may
have
or
a
may
heart.
not be. Huh?
What?
What'd you say?
That's partly why you don't have a heart. That must be why.
Maybe, dude. Maybe.
But
No,
the funny thing
Josh
is, like,
is,
the funny thing is, Isabella,
he's
this
a
conversation
boy.
is really.
He's
a real boy. Sorry, go
The
ahead.
funny thing is that this conversation is related to how it's like extremely related to the process of like the recording the songs that we did for this album.
Oh!
Like, it's like so clear. Like the funny thing, like I like Garrett. Like I've liked you more. I told Josh the other day.
All right, if this is gonna be this whole time, I'm gonna have
Listen,
it.
I
no.
like Garrett.
Don't get me wrong. I like him, but
This is the funny thing. Like I told Josh the other day,
so
I was
funny.
like, it's weird. Like I told him this yesterday. It's weird because like when I first got here, like I was like, yeah, Garrett, I forgot I like that guy. And then like halfway in, I was like, I just don't get it. Like I don't understand. And now I'm like, wow, I really.
You're back on the track.
Like I feel like I figured it out. Like
That's
I finally
like
figured
like
out.
my like who I like
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like and it's it's funny because like I guess like my natural tendency to just attach to ideas is like it's like a horrible mix with you. Because one time you'll have an idea and then like 2 seconds later be like, well,
Oh,
I'll do
that's
this.
funny.
And so like I'm just like on this like
Aaron's
I'm
like,
Oh.
am I confused?
Oh, I told you this recently
funny.
about like how like this is something we can cut this out because this is lame. But we were talking about like I don't want to be the guy who talks about Enneagrams like all the time. But anyway, I was talking to him about
I
fours.
don't mind that guy.
That's part of the process.
Yeah.
I was talking to him about fours and how fours can kind of like feel like they can like do the roller coaster, you know. They can feel the ups and downs and the sides and the twists and like all. They can feel all that, but it doesn't hit as hard in those emotions as it hits for other people. So when like people view that, they kind of see like, dang, he's just like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like what is he
Oh,
like?
I see what you're
Like
saying.
God, he's like he was happy and now he's like really bummed and then now he's like doing it. It's like no, it's just
That's
like they're
interesting.
just writing it out just to see which option is the best. Like, and they can easily do that without feeling the effect of those the
Yeah.
things
Of
that
the
come
things
with those
changing.
emotions.
So like what I used to do was I used to like get on for
Interesting.
the ride with you. Now I watch you do the ride.
Yeah, let me do it.
And then once you like come in, you know, it's like, oh, the ride is finished. He did all the loops. I'm like, yeah, let's get on now.
Yeah.
You know. So that's how it works now. Like first week we went to the store or something. You were like, let's go to Target. Let's go to this Target. I'm like, okay. It's like, maybe we should go around. It's like, I don't know, dude. I'm thinking about going around. I'm like, so do you want to go to the other one? And he's like, nah, let's just go to this. Let's go to this one. And then we get in Target. And
funny.
he's like, I need to get a mop. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I don't want to get the mop. See, I knew I should have went to the other one.
See, the funny.
But see, the thing is, I don't. It doesn't like hit me. Like it's not like, oh man, like I should have. No, it's just like shoot, I should have went to. You know, it's like
So
it's
the
real.
same thing
Everything is
happens-
real light.
So the
Yeah.
same thing happens with the music, not just with you, but with like Josh too. Because like sometimes Josh gets into like problem solving mode, where it's just like, all right, so we're
pick a
doing
lane.
this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait, but you didn't even think about all these things, and you're like, I could literally see you like sighing inside. You're like, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's slow down and like figure out like
That's
each
true.
exactly
I
thing.
think
which
yeah.
it's like I think it's like tiring for everybody. If you just had to put it out, or if I just had to put it out, or you just had to put it out, or Jake, it would just be like. It'd be like less hard. Well, maybe it'd still be hard for you.
See, that's the thing. I just explained it. It looks that way to other people, but it's not quite.
well, that's what I was gonna say. It's funny, like the way that we're.
I'm done explaining.
It's funny, like the way that we're talking about Garrett, because you're not actually that. You're not as wishy-washy as it seems.
I don't think it's wishy-washy. I think it's just like I think it's like when I say I want to do something, I'm like, hey, I want to pick up this phone. It's like this. When Garrett says he wants to pick up phone, it's like this. You know what I mean? It's like, like pick it up over here, pick it up over here, pick it up
No.
over here. But it's
No,
all still
I
the
don't get
same thing. That was a bad description.
Well,
I
but
didn't
I'm
get
just
that.
saying, like, the idea of doing a thing is like way bigger.
I do it bigger because there's possibility of something else cool coming out of it.
I think so.
Because I could grab my phone, but also pick up a ladybug along
And
the way.
that seems
How
like
cool would that be? No, that's literally the first thing that
This
popped
little
in my
guy.
head.
How
Yeah.
old is he? Get real close and count the dots.
No, it's not quite like that. But I guess I think I do it just for the option of something else. If a better option comes along that would make it better for everybody, then at least I went down the path to find it.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
So then, how do you?
Make love?
No. oh yeah. Here's where I feel like my skill set consistently comes into play for us as a group. Is how does that process not inform your process next time?
Oh yeah.
How does it not?
Yeah.
How does it not inform it?
Yeah, like I feel like the way that you go about things, like good and bad, great, and there's probably nothing that's like terrible about this process. But like, you know, the hands wide thing and you're closing on it like that.
Sure. I don't know if that's the best description.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just
But,
rocking with it
yeah,
because that's
okay,
what we
cool.
were talking
I
about.
thought it was a great.
How did
Hey, that was great, dude. I'm proud of you.
My guy.
I would never lie to you.
I know.
I wasn't lying.
But how does it? So you're going to grab a phone, right? And so you successfully grab the phone after picking up just thousands of ladybugs, and you get there and you go like, nice, got this phone, all these ladybugs, life is great. So then next time you turn the corner and you go, what? A phone on the ground? How do you not go like, okay, now that I've already picked up a phone, this scenario looks like the last one. I can just pick it up like this now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that not happen?
How can I not?
Creatively? I'm asking about the creative process for you.
Because I guess in that way, I mean, to be clear, there's plenty of times in my life where I'll just pick up the phone.
Yeah, I know
But
that.
also, in that process,
And I'm surprised
if
every time.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Are you really?
about
Is it that big of a? Is it that crazy? Okay. I'm genuinely curious because I'm curious.
Sometimes
how
I'll be
people-
like, man, we're gonna have to talk about this, and then you'll be like, yeah, let's just do it. And I'll be like, nice.
Sometimes
I'm
I'm
like-
surprised about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes I am.
I think it just depends on your
I know.
mood.
I
Dude, we're just back around.
Probably.
It
Yeah.
just depends on
I
your
don't know.
mood
But
sometimes.
also like in that what I heard whenever you said that was like, well, look what I got out of it last time. If I take the same approach, I could get something the same or greater. Because I know that I went out of the way to do something like that. Why not take that same approach to possibly achieve the same thing? Instead of just getting what I know is what I want, I could get something even bigger. That would be that is one reason that I could see why I would do it that same way.
I guess that makes sense.
Or
Guess that
I could
makes
reach wider the next time. Because or if I realize that what I got along the way was not quite worth it, then I'll just pick up the phone. It all just depends, you know. There's so many
Sure.
So, like,
so many
what's the-
See, the
variables.
last one makes sense to me.
So like, what's
Yeah.
the thought? Like, is your process?
It depends if I want the same thing again. Do I want the ladybugs again? Then I'll do that again. Am I curious if there's more than ladybugs?
See, the thing that
Okay.
always confuses me about
Is there a caterpillar? Caterpillar and ladybug.
that's the thing that always confuses me is because
Caterpillars are gross. by
I'm
the way.
thinking to myself like,
They're definitely
how
not.
how can you live? Like, how can you live in a world full of possibilities? That sounds.
and not try all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Wait,
if you
is that-
know they're all there, it's like there's so many to do. How can you just not choose like one? Because you know it could be anything.
Sure.
Like, I don't understand how you can evaluate like what's all here. Like if that's like that
Or
just
at
seems
least-
like so much work for me.
That's totally what happens. What I do. I will always be like if I go.
Oh,
To-
fun. This is such a great analogy.
Okay.
When I bought my refrigerator and you went with me,
Oh.
and I was like,
Oh, dude, I had to look at all the fridges.
He told me this story, which I thought was so funny because when he told it to me,
I was like, dude, you could find a cheaper one.
I was
or
like,
you could
that's
find
Garrit.
and you were right. You were right. But it was worth it for me. I was like, I walked in and you were like, I was like,
So funny.
that's the one I'm gonna get. And you were like, really? Like you don't want to? You
don't like,
wanna
look around?
Look around. I was like, no. I was like, that's the one I want. It's in the price range that I wanted. It's the price range that I had in my mind when I came in here. I'm gonna get it. And you were like, you were like worried. You were like,
Like, dude, I don't
"But
want you to miss out on a
But
good
you want to
deal."
go to like IKEA? I was like, nah, I don't want to. I don't
Got the Tyler out. Nah.
Yeah, the Tyler. So that's funny. That's funny. I don't know.
Totally. I was looking for a tea kettle for me. Okay. Enneagram thing. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to say it. Cut it out if it's too much. There was this example that this guy gave, and the guy writing the book is a 4. And he said that they needed I think it was a stroller or like a car seat for their child, for the baby. And the wife was like, hey, can this be put on you to, like, find it for us, whatever. And so him being a 4, checking out all the other ones, because it's like, everybody gets this brand, everybody gets this one. I want one that's like unique, or that one that's like, cool or whatever, got like some cool thing, whatever. He ended up, and this is not what I would do, but ended up paying like way more than he should have. And then it came, and then he had to like assemble it, and then he like failed at assembling, which I don't do. But anyway, the point is that he went out of his way to get like something different and like something like
unique.
Yeah, something unique. So he like spent the time doing it. And the other day, Ina and I, we wanted to get a tea kettle, and I was playing with the options of like, okay, do we want the one that has the infuser inside it?
I'm not laughing.
Do we want the one that
man.
has the whistle whistles? Is that what we want? Or do we want one that just houses the tea with the infuser in it, where you don't heat up the water with the infuser in it? There's like all these options, and it's kind of stressful if I don't know the whole thing and then attack it, because if I don't, then there's a possibility of like
you're thinking at night, like if we just.
Well, I'm not like staying up at night, but there's times it's like if I got one that like broke or something, I'd be like, shoot, well, this was obviously I didn't do my research, I didn't check it out enough to know which one.
You feel like the burden of it, like
sure, it's like this was on me, and now I'm down like $20, or whatever it costs for. I got to get the one that works best, and it always stresses me out to order through Amazon too.
I'm learning about myself at the same time.
Yeah.
This is good. I like this.
Well, it's like it stresses me out ordering through Amazon too, because it's like I can't see it, and I can't like you can see so much with pictures, but like what's that scale? You know what I mean? Is that a small?
I love Amazon. I'm just like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't live that way.
I'm on its way already.
It really stresses me out. Yeah, like clothes, I'm always like, oh no.
I don't know buy clothes.
Just clothes and
it's funny too, because this is how I talk about like lyrics. This is how I talk about spiritual things. This is how I talk about like everything. So it's just funny that I feel the same way about this. That is the process that I do about like the top 10% of things in my life.
Like the things that make the most, like that are most important to you, top 10%.
Yeah, most important, or maybe like the things I'm the most excited about, or whatever. I will like. I'm not talking like I'm gonna spend a little bit of time. I will like, floor to the, like foot to the floor, gas pedal all the way down.
Yeah.
Just like every detail.
Oh yeah.
Everything else, it literally is all like just boxes. Like the fridge thing, if it was like price range, color I don't care about, you know what I'm saying? Like if, it's just these boxes. So when we get in there and Garrett says like, don't you want to try and save $20? I would go like, $20 is still in the price range. So
yeah.
To me, it's the same. Like it feels.
Now, if it was
feels
20,
like the same box.
But if it was $20 above what I was thinking about paying. Then I'm like,
yeah. Well, see, that's how I am too. Like if it was
that's what I meant. That's what it was. Because, and also it was at the beginning of our trip too. And if it was at the end of our trip, I would have been like, dude, just get whatever fridge you want.
It's just a fridge. Holy moly.
Get this like triple decker. I don't like.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. And so like, I don't like. I think it's not even like because I think it's a better way. I think just as a person, I just can't give that much attention and that much thought to like 90% of the things in my life.
Gotcha.
I just can't.
And I think
it's the same with like we've talked before, and I think you've been in these conversations too about lyrics that are overly poetic. To me like it's like a balance. Like not only are you putting out lyrics that are too poetic, you're making the actually good poetic lyrics worse by making yours. You know what I mean? By like you're like using up all of the essence. You're robbing it over here. And so like to me, I think like maybe my life is a little more like that than I'm willing to give credit. You know what I mean? Like,
but the reason you do it is just because like the other stuff you don't really care about.
Well, it's just I care significantly less.
The thing that I do, even if I care, I have to do it just to keep everything like still. if there's too many questions all the way down the list,
Oh,
I need to
see.
take like half of that list and be like, even though I care about this, let me just make it still. Like it's not gonna matter. So let me just make it still. So
Interesting.
that's
so,
like
so that's like a
it's like a 9.
So does the world like have this weird? Do you just walk around with this kind of like balancing scales all the time?
that's the whole point of like being like the peacemaker, anytime there's any contention, I'm always like trying to balance the scales. So if Garrett's like comes off aggressive, I'll like say a joke to like I do it unconsciously to like balance it. Or if Josh is like really mad about something and like talking aggressively, I'm just like, oh, I don't know how that's gonna come off to the rest of the band. Let me like balance it. Like it's all like subconsciously like happening, and I feel like that happens like in the music too, like.
You kind of do play that role.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
I hadn't thought about it.
But it's funny because I don't consciously do it. I don't think to myself, this seems like it's going. But
Yeah.
I can also like I can see like into the future of like how the conversation is going to end. And I'm like, I don't really want it to end like that. So I like subconsciously like balance the scale.
I just had a realization.
Cool, keep it. The funny thing about
I mean, shoot, dude. I was going to give it to you.
Put it in your pocket. Keep it for
the
yourself.
funny thing about because I've been meaning to say this, and it's probably not going to relate, but I just want to
go.
get it out.
That was really good.
The funny thing about the
Caught me off
balance,
guard.
like when people
Peacemaker.
Jeez.
when people, this is what I'm saying. Like when people think about the peacemaker thing, they always think like, oh, he's just always chill. But I also do it like if he's like really aggressive, I can like balance that with being aggressive too.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Like I don't. It's like it's not always just like, oh hey guys, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
let's get together. And
That's
Yeah,
definitely true.
it's like it's a weird thing like that. Like if somebody's
That's
like,
funny.
I'll
There are
balance
definitely
it.
times when I feel like I can feel you like meeting me.
Yeah,
in,
like
in like energy or like mostly it's. I mean, the easiest way is just like voice volume.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you did in the beginning, dude, to get you going.
Oh, did I just do it?
No,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like
Oh,
yeah,
when we
you're
first
right.
started
That's
the
funny.
podcast, like round 2.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever,
I felt it. I
That's
felt it.
funny.
I was like, oh yeah. Okay, what was you saying?
Anyway,
I don't remember. No, it was a.
check your pocket.
What was it? Oh yeah.
That's great too.
I don't know why I use
I
his
love
fingers
that.
because we're on camera. I don't know.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said it. I should just wrote
Father-
it.
I'll just
The
edit
father's
in,
looking
like, a
at
middle
you.
Yeah, can you just put like the emoji over there?
Yeah.
No, just a realization about Force having to know like the whole thing, like know every option, and it like reflects. I didn't think about it like for me musically because it's like I want to be able to play like everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
why I was always figuring. I was like, why can't I like? Why don't I want to like hone in on a specific music or anything?
It's not your.
That's just not what. Yeah, I guess not. That was it.
I wonder if I play like a. Do I play like a 9?
Well, that's what it kind of reminded me of because it's like, because when I was thinking about it, I was just for some reason I was thinking about that track that is yet to be released, on the
Pre-save.
EP, not that one,
Oh,
another
okay.
one, when the special guest was singing,
Oh, right.
And,
Yeah, we gotta keep that under wraps.
yeah,
Maybe.
when the special guest was singing and or
Just keep
performing.
Going. Just keep going.
and anyway, yeah, just like listening to your playing and just I was just like, you do it in the same way. This is what Rusty said, and I think it is so true with the majority of people is that your playing is a direct reflection of your speech,
Oh yeah.
and I think it definitely has that shown in that portion of the song. I'm trying to be real specific.
About the solo section?
No, the way you
Oh,
were
like the
like
first
comping
part.
behind
Oh,
the
yeah.
first part, yeah, and
Oh yeah.
like you
I
kind
even
of like
feel-
meet people where they're at, and it's like you gave everybody a turn too. It's like you know
Yeah.
you gave Josh a turn, you gave me a turn, like
Yeah.
and Jake too. But there's just like you did that, and then you met us where we were, and then you also had your time too.
Yeah.
You know,
Huh.
so I don't know.
Maybe that's why it was so hard for me to start playing at OBC. When I first started,
Was it hard for you?
it was like exhausting for me.
Oh, you mean like that kind of? Okay,
yeah,
I
like
see
it
what
was
you're saying.
hard for me to like play really loud over top of everybody, like just like
Yeah.
leading the whole. And I still at the end didn't end up being like that type of player, but
I mean,
I was like playing
you
loud.
could
and
definitely
doing
do it though.
But it wasn't
I didn't
like
think
in
it was,
the
like,
it wasn't in
lacking.
the same way of like, all right, guys, strap on. It's like hard for me.
I think part of the reason that I'm more comfortable throwing myself into a situation without having thought everything through is because it's exciting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because like
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't like
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
I don't
Like
like that.
relying on your talent to a certain level in like any situation, whether it's like social, musical, physical, like whatever.
Right.
It's exciting. Like it feels exciting. But I'll tell you.
So you don't think about the night before it happens, like socially, like we go out to a gig, you just hang out with people.
Well.
Like I always think like, okay, how can I?
Oh, you mean like in social situations?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, I always think I'm like, all right, if this person is there, how can we like, how to connect this way? Okay, maybe I should talk. I don't know if that's,
Wow.
that whole thing is like,
really?
That's why it's exhausting for me to go out. Like just to go out and
Jeez.
just, I don't know.
One of the things that it mentions in that book is fours usually tend to hang back and they want to be approached.
Yeah.
But not for like a power thing. It's just like, yeah, that's where they're most comfortable.
Mine's definitely a power thing.
You've heard his whole like.
Although, I mean, it really just depends. It's really hard to say firmly about
it's okay
something
if
like
you-
that. But that was one thing that he said for sure. That was something is like I prefer to stand back in gatherings or whatever, and prefer others to come to me. But that's been something that I've had to learn since coming here is that that's not going to happen because when you're new to town, you got to do that.
Yeah, why would somebody?
Yeah, and it's like it's a death sentence as a musician. You can't just sit back like that.
Nope.
It's funny.
Unless you're put, I don't know. Unless your status of like musicianship has transcended some type of way. Or something.
So I wasn't gonna actually bring this up, but you heard his whole like he wants the how do you say it? He said I want the luxury of
To be humble.
I want the luxury to be humble. Like
Shoot,
yeah,
dude.
like he wants to be able to go in and somebody be like, "Yo, Eric, come sit in." He's like, "Nah, man, I'm just here to listen, man.
I'm just here to hear you. Really.
I'm just here to hang out.
Bro,
I'm here to
bro,
learn
the
from
last-
you, dog."
that last-
no.
that last record, man, that was crazy. The thing you did on the B section, very nice, very
funny.
nice. Yeah,
I
I'm
tried that
gonna
on
just be in and
That's
out,
so
but
funny.
it's good to see you, bro, for real.
I tried that on a
Don't
gig
do-
in
no, don't do
Knoxville,
your
and they
thing,
were like,
don't
Listen,
nah.
he's rehearsed this. Just let him finish.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you guys?
okay.
Do you guys rehearse interviews?
No.
I do. I'll be in the mirror. I'll be like,
I have before.
"That's fun, right?"
I mean, it depends
I'll be like, "Yeah, Dave."
because I start getting in my head. It's like, well, what if it doesn't go that way? What if it goes this way? I'm not prepared.
I don't rehearse because I know no matter what, as soon as this thing that's inevitably going to happen to me, I'm gonna react the same way in every single universe of Josh's life. So I don't bother
You're like
because
Rick.
I don't what
You're like Rick.
maybe, but I don't bother because like I know my gut is gonna do the same thing, like every time.
Just know, once I get the luxury to be humble, it's gonna be great.
I'm looking forward to
I'm gonna be
that.
at every gig.
I'm gonna go out way more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be buying people drinks.
Dude, I
like,
tried that
hey,
on
man,
a
you want
gig.
you want something? I got you, man. Nah, you stay there.
Talking to
Keep
people
playing.
on stage.
No, you keep
He's like,
playing.
what do you want?
We'll just turn around.
Yeah, he's like, hey, keyboard man, hey, he's like doesn't even know their
Yeah,
names.
yeah. I just walk in the side door, not the front side door.
Hey, what do you
Hey,
want?
keyboards, what do you want?
Dap up the door, man. What's up, bro? How you doing, bro? Yeah, just been out,
Yeah, I just got back.
Just
from
got back.
Whatever.
Bro, just got back is such a nasty
Oh.
phrase.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Man,
It's
I tried
very
that.
misleading too.
I tried that on someone's gig back when I lived in Knoxville, and it was I didn't like try to go in like that. I was just there, and I just wanted to listen and to the music or whatever. They're like, "You want to sit in?" I was like, "No, that's okay. I'm just here to hang out." Whatever. And then I think it was Clint Mulligan. He was like, "Dude, get up there."
That's
and so
funny.
I had to. I think I was, and then my force self was like, "Gosh, I hope they didn't think that I was trying to do that."
So I just don't. Honestly, I don't like playing when I go to people's things. I literally just want to listen.
Also, every time
Sometimes
I
I
had
do.
gone to sit in or play at that gig,
Yeah.
it like didn't it didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. So it was
Yeah.
like, what's that story about like Freddie Hubbard? He like would only sit in, and this is the luxury of being a horn player, I think, is that you get on the bandstand and like you got the whole rhythm section there, you got everything, and if a song was called that they didn't
do
know,
whatever you want.
they can just dip.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I'm not
Right.
saying like I'm just saying like they, not that they can just play whatever they
Yeah,
want,
yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they can literally just kind of like, just maybe play the head and just like I'm not taking one on this,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Freddie would only sit in on this. So the story goes, would only sit in on tunes that he knew. And so that was like one of
Makes
the
sense.
strategies to whatever. But imagine the drummer or the bass player, they get the end pin set up and they got everything figured out here. The drummer's like adjusted the cymbals and the
that's
snare
the thing
drum. They're
about
like,
the jam
what do you want to
sessions,
play?
man.
Doxy? It's like, oh, I don't know Doxy. And
All
they-
right, he gets down. He
it's
starts
like,
taking the impin.
all right,
That's
well,
funny.
The funny,
Anybody else know
the
Doxy?
funny thing is when you have the nice
That's
person
funny.
on the stand at those jam sessions, they're like, "Do you know Doxy?" And you're like, "Nah." And they're like, "No, yeah, like Sonny Rollins off of the." And they're like, "Yeah, you know that one off of that one." You're like, "Nah." And they're like,
No, Doxy's
like
not on
this.
that one.
"Oh,
I'm
how does
looking it up.
Doxy go?"
And
you're like, "Nah, I still don't know that." It's bad. Another reason why I didn't like doing jam sessions, not
not
because
gonna
I
look it
couldn't
up.
play,
Spoilers.
because I just was like thinking of the whole thing, and I'm like, "All right, this kind of was there." But
Yeah, jam sessions were a bad time for me.
I don't like
Just
them.
never worked out.
They worked out a lot actually for
I
me,
like 'em.
but I just don't like them.
I'll-
Unless we go in knowing that there's no scripted songs.
there's a
Those
Yes.
were fun. Those were
Yes,
fun.
those were awesome. Like the press pubs ones.
Yeah.
yeah.
Those were awesome. I
Those
love
are
those.
fun, yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, what's nice is that you get to like write it out. If you're in the house band, you get to kind of like develop. What's so stressful about jam sessions is you're supposed to show like so much depth in this one situation.
Yeah.
I mean, because the purpose of like going into a jam session as a young person is to like, or in a not just young, but in a situation where you don't know that many people or they don't know you're playing, is to show that you can play.
Yeah.
And so how are you going to do that? Well, I need to show all my things in this like 2-minute thing, but still be musical and still be whatever, like all that stuff. So it's really tricky. And it's a whole lot easier to do that over a couple songs,
Yeah.
in a set and get to like expand upon,
See,
whatever
That's
ideas.
why I always wanted. Anytime I'm ever in the house band, my first question when somebody sits in is, "Hey, what do you want to play?"
Right.
Because I hate that situation of like, let's call a song.
Mm-hmm.
And like for
I just
instance,
don't
like
I just don't
drummers.
like that.
I mean, you can show a lot in ballads and stuff, and like a drummer that can play a ballad correctly or musically, not correctly. Correctly is a dumb word, but musically is like amazing and it's great. It's very hard to do. But
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it
if you're
first.
like say you're gonna go as a drummer to a jam session or
Yeah, you're
whatever,
not
and then
calling
you
a
get
ballad.
up there, you finally get a chance to go up there, and somebody calls a ballad, and
Yeah.
you're like, God, I wanted to play "Got a Match" or something.
yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. You can equally show depth in a ballad as you can with "Got a Match," but it depends on like who you're trying to,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it all depends on so many
I was
things.
gonna say it depends on who's listening though.
Also, that
Right.
usually gets you like another song. If you do one of them right, you can usually like get
Right.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
That's probably
unless
true.
the room's packed or whatever, and if
Yeah.
you paid $15 bleeping to get
Or
into
if
this
it's-
club, and then
yeah.
you're playing with people who don't know how to play, and
Or if it's one of
kinda
those things
frustrating.
where that Apotec thing that I was at, and it would just happen to be a night there was like a ton of bass players.
Mm-hmm.
So like most people got to play like a couple songs, but most bass players didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like I feel for the people who are in charge, because it's like, I know that to other people they come off like, great, okay, next bass player, here we go. And I feel bad for them because like they're not they don't not care about every bass player. They just are trying.
They're
to
just
fit
trying to get
everybody.
everybody.
You just
Yeah.
gotta get
Yeah.
that 9 talk, bro. It's really good, man. I'm actually trying to get somebody else in here just because we got so many bass players. But it
Nice.
sounds good. If you hang around, maybe you could play at the end. You see what I'm
Nice,
saying?
dude.
Just
Nice.
even it out. You know what I mean?
No, that's good. I like
Peacemaker.
that. Huh?
That's what it is. That's what I'm saying.
Peacemaker. I like balancer better. Peacemaker, I feel like is not a fair description of nines.
Yeah, balancer is. I
yeah,
think
balancer
balancer's
makes
better.
way more sense to me.
But really, peacemaking is just balancing.
All right, depends on what you think peace is.
Mm.
Well, I guess
Let's
it
go
just
around.
depends. I think it just depends on what you think balanced is.
What?
It just depends on what you think balanced is.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Working with your friends, that's like such a complicated thing, and there's so many different ways to do that. It's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that all of those situations, especially like public situations like that, have it. I can tell that everybody in our band has been in a lot of those,
Yeah.
and has been in a lot of bands or a
Yeah.
lot of band situations, because it's like just the way that we handle certain things. Like when it comes down to like brass tacks,
Yeah.
that's where the experience shows. Like, yeah, we can argue about bridges all day and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But like, when it comes time to like get something done, the way that
It's
we
kind of
handle
refreshing.
it is very refreshing.
But is it just knowing? At least for me, it's just knowing. This could go really badly if we just don't handle this situation right. Is it just knowing that and then just
I mean,
sacrificing the ego?
I think that that's what I am thinking a lot of times.
Me too.
Like I
As much as I like to think of you guys as being like, if something happened today, we just come back tomorrow and it'd be no problem. As much as I like to think that, like, that's just not realistic with like a lot of people.
Sure.
So I think it's like better to just, if you can, just try to like work through the things together and never get to a place where you're not working together.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to give a lecture here, but I think that's like what I feel.
Well, I think so too, and I think the other part of it is like you can't get mad at other people for trying to push the original idea forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Seems like you're referring to the song that we're about to release.
am I?
About your original... The
Oh,
conversation
that's
we had.
actually, that's
I don't
actually
want to say
good,
too much to... Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
That's actually good. What do you mean? You
No,
don't want to say too much?
we've
on
already
it?
said
I'm
the
just
name,
trying
right?
to like... I'm trying to be like not talky about... I'm not trying to give away too much.
I see.
Oh,
But
about
you
that
guys got
song?
there. Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
Nah, we should give it a.
Okay, we're releasing this song. This is another plug. I'm glad we're doing this because I was about to say we never really fully did a good plug
Let's do it.
or a plug.
And if you made it this far, that's why we mess with you.
Yeah, thank you. That's why if you made it this far, that's why we have 7 saves on Spotify.
Yeah. Then you're one of the
You
seven,
were the
dude.
one of the 7 that.
Free saves.
So this song, we're releasing a single, coming out June 5th. It is called "In Two Places." Number 2.
Yeah.
Not inside. Like into.
Into places. That's funny.
So-
I've never even thought about that. That's so funny.
Only reason I do is I think because of autocorrect, or not autocorrect because you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
But sorry.
You
Go-
got it.
you
I
go
thought you were falling off. I was trying
No,
to help you.
it was the reason why we bring this up is because Josh had this original idea for this tune
Yeah.
and believed in it so much that we came
Yeah, it
back
almost
to
fell-
it.
it
after.
almost fell apart.
That's what I was
Okay.
talking
It
about.
almost
What were you
fell
thinking
apart.
about?
I thought you were talking about like the meaning of the lyrics.
No, like the
I thought you were talking
actual
about
like
that. Like the process of
Yeah.
going to that.
because you wrote it as
That's
a,
not what I
as
was.
a, as a
I see what
dance
you're
song.
saying. Yeah.
That's what you said.
Nah,
And Jake and I
paint
were
the picture real
suggesting.
quick. Yeah.
What were you in that process? I can't remember.
What do you mean?
Like,
I think he
It
was.
felt like-
I
it
think he
felt
was
like-
just trying to like fix stuff.
yeah.
I didn't mean to like brush that aside. I
No.
think.
I don't know what you mean though. What
In
you
that
talking about?
process, it seems like Josh had this idea, and Jake and I were like battling the idea,
Yeah.
but still thinking we were achieving that, but also doing something else. But Josh was saying, no, that's taking away from it and harming that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
But
I
you
think I
believed
just-
in your original idea of that so much that you wanted to fight for it like that.
Yeah.
That's what reminded me.
Well, and the other
Well,
half.
give the story.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
people know.
So we originally, whenever I write something for this band or whenever anybody does, like we bring in scratch tracks, right? And normally it's like when I do it, I'll like program drums or I'll like set up a mic and I'll play like shitty drums or whatever, and then I'll play it like I'll play a guitar part and a piano part and whatever, and then if I have any lyric ideas or melody ideas, put those down too, and then I bring it in and give it to everybody and say, hey, here's what we do. And then from that point, we start adding and taking away. And that's how we get most of our songs. But there was this thing, I don't remember how it got in, but a lot of times I'll write with really big, broad strokes. So there was a situation where it was like, I was like, okay, so it's like intro, and here's what the intro is. Okay, and then there's like a little thing here. I don't know what that is yet. And then we go on with the song. And then Jake did something for the little thing that I didn't know, which I was happy about. What is it?
Aaron's fire alarm.
Oh, it's fire alarm.
If it's smoke detector's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. But and so you and Jake got super into that little thing,
Right.
and we're like trying to like make a ton out of the little thing. And like I said before, like everything's kind of a balancing act for me. Yes. And so it just got to a point where I was like, okay, this isn't the song. Like to me there's like a point, and when you cross that point, I'm like, okay, this is just a different song now. And in my experience, and I think this is the reason. This is one of the reasons I was kind of arguing for the song the way that I was. In my experience, when you go in and you just start changing a song, just like changing it and changing it and changing it and changing it, with like no regard for the original idea, it 9 times out of 10 does not work. You do not come out with a good song like that. You are better off, and I did this, I've done this in scratch tracks multiple times. You are better off taking the thing that you feel passionate about and starting something new, all based on that one thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying, let's do. Granted, I was pretty worked up at the time. Maybe there's a good chance I was coming off
I feel like
a lot more aggressively
than I
felt about it in
the
my
conversations
mind.
we had at night when it was just me and you, and I was just like,
Which I told Garrett about.
Oh, yeah?
I told him about how defeated I was. Like, the rest of that
dude,
day, I was so bummed.
And I was like, we had a pretty good day.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's like high-fiving, and I'm like, this sucks.
Well, only reason it felt that way is because it was your idea. It was like I said that wrong. It was like you brought this to us with something so
Specific, yeah,
specific.
Yeah, and
so I was talking. I was like,
Yeah.
the reason I could tell is like there were certain words that you were using that seemed like non-musical things, like they were like non-musical problems, and I was like, oh, he's like really feeling this. And so then when we talked, I was like, oh, it's just the words you're using. The words you're using, like your way you're communicating is making it seem like
something that's not.
Yeah, like you guys were just like making a song, and you were just like, why aren't you guys like on the same page as me? And so I think it was just this weird miscommunication that like somehow just fixed itself. I don't really remember how it fixed itself.
Yeah, we started the next day. What did you?
Because it was like a long day. We did it only on like one song.
There were long days too. That was the other. They were just hard. But
yeah, for those of you that don't know, we spent like a whole week before
10 days
we recorded.
It's like 9
Counting,
days. 9 days.
Counting.
that's good.
Yeah, we spent a long time, like full days for like a weekish getting this stuff together. So
yeah,
this one day I think was dedicated to
this one song.
Was not on purpose, but it was this one song.
Yeah,
that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and so
it went places.
It went plenty of places.
The way that
It did.
In 2 places.
the
More
way
than
that
2
it
places.
happened was interesting because, and this is that gut thing, right?
Yeah.
This is why this experience, like, it like informs me more and more, like why I continue to lean on my gut, and why I encourage everybody in our band to do that to like a specific degree, because I think there's a lot of like you can like really get to the heart of like, oh, that's what matters. That night, after we like kind of talked about it, but not really, we were just sitting there, and I was like still defeated after like going out to dinner, talking about it like kind of and like whatever.
Where did you eat?
That Chinese place that you like. That's next to,
nice.
Yeah.
Next to El Taco Loco
There you go.
on Lancashire and Oxnard, right next to their neighbors. They share a wall.
Pretty good place.
I wonder if they share food.
But they is that a thing restaurants do?
You were at the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, I was at the right.
They shared. They had just got finished sharing rice through the door.
And we went home, and Aaron literally, I was like, I was not even thinking about it. I was still fixated on how defeated I was feeling. And Aaron literally just looked at me and said, "Okay, so how does the song go to you?" And then
I did say
from top of the song, of what the form looks like right now, I went top to bottom. And I said, okay, it starts like this, and I just kept going. And Aaron was like, oh, hold on, let me write this down. And that's we modified the form just a little bit.
That's a cool band story.
But that's the form. That's
Yeah.
the
That's a
form
cool
we-
band story.
That is cool.
And then you showed, and then the thing that took it from me, which was like when you showed me this, I was able to tell you what we were hearing, and then what you actually
Yeah.
did.
And then we were also still able to use that guitar part
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that we came up with the day before.
Well, what he did was
that didn't work with
he
it.
was like, it's like a dance song, and I was like, okay, so like dance, like boom, 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 like club, like American music, like dance, pop dance music. You're like, no, like this, and you play this like Brazilian, like
Yeah.
party music
Yeah,
from
like street music. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
kind of dance
Yeah.
music.
But that was
That was like the biggest one for me. When
Yeah.
That makes
so whenever
sense.
I brought it back to you
Yeah,
guys,
I
I was
would've-
like, or whenever you brought it back,
Was that
you-
said?
yeah,
Okay.
I
yeah.
think so.
And so then I got it. I understood what you were like going for because you were saying dance before, but I didn't know what you meant. Like I thought
Yeah.
you meant like American dance music.
Mhm.
So when you said that, I was
Yeah,
like,
I guess when you
oh,
first said that, I didn't think
that
about that.
Yeah, it makes way more sense. And then I think ever since then we just like kind of like it just got on track.
Well, and thankfully, like, and this shows the maturity of the group. The next day, we started it off, and I even asked Aaron. I was like, "Okay, tell me how to say this."
Yeah, you did.
I mean, because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
even at the point where you were just like, if we don't want to do this, then let's just scrap it.
Yeah,
You know, you were just
which
like,
is actually
it has
how
to
I
be done
felt.
this way, or let's just not
Which
do it.
it sounded like an ultimatum, which I don't think that's how you meant
That's
it.
not- yeah,
But when
that's
you
not
said
how
either
I-
do
no.
this or write another song, it was like, well, chill out, dude.
Yeah, I
You
guess
know
I
what
can
mean?
see now
It's
how
like,
that would
it
sound.
sounds
that
like
way.
a
Yeah,
it sounds like an ultimatum, but like when you
Yeah.
It's
but
like because you just didn't hear the song at all
Yeah.
in any other fashion.
which,
Yeah, yeah.
connecting back to the beginning conversation, it was what like Garrit was like. Well, and he even said this. He was like, well, I mean, we're working it out. It could be a bunch of things. We don't really know what it could be.
Yeah,
And Josh was like, I know what it is.
yeah, because for me it felt like a lack of trust. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
do you guys really? I wrote this.
Yeah.
Do you not trust that I knew what was happening and that I thought through
And then
all
I was
of these
thinking,
things?
like,
I'm
like that, like none of us. I don't think any of us don't trust you when it comes to that stuff.
well, and
Totally.
I mean,
and so it was like,
yeah,
that's how I knew that there was like a huge
Yeah.
misconnect. So for it to work out so well, and like when I listened to it, like I just listened to it before we did this show, I was like, wow, this song is really good. I like this song a lot. Let me just say that.
well, and I appreciated the next day that after I had asked Aaron, like, okay, tell me how to say this, because clearly, I know now when it's like, okay, I just can't say anything. So just
Yeah.
tell me what to say because like sometimes somebody understands me well enough, and everybody in the band has been there with me at this point. Sometimes like they understand what I'm trying to say well enough, and they know how to communicate that like better than I do. Like I even like Jake's not here right now, but like on the First Baptist on like when we at that church that Garrett and I used to play at, there would definitely be times where I'm like suggesting something on stage, especially after you left because it's harder. It was harder for me
You had to
to
say
communicate.
More things.
Yeah, I had to say more things because I didn't have a drummer behind me like already doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like proving my point in like a really weird way.
Yeah.
But sorry. But yeah, but there would be a lot of times when I would like look at Jake and be like right? And he would be like, "Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is like this."
Oh, yeah.
And he would like jump in and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and because Jake didn't talk as much as I did in that scenario, like he had a little more credibility in situations.
Sure.
But to the band's credit, when I came back the next day and I was like, "Can we just try this one more time and we'll just try it my way once? And if
we
you guys don't like it,
yeah.
then we can do like whatever you guys want and we can entertain other days. Like fine." And then we did it that way, and everybody was like, everybody was like, "Okay, I get it. I get it." You know what I mean? It wasn't.
And then
like,
it started to take its shape,
yeah,
and
to
that got
turn
us
into
all
like,
more excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the biggest thing I learned then from that rehearsal, from that whole week, was when we have song ideas, we need to keep that in mind the whole time. Whatever the main idea of the song
Totally.
is, whatever the vibe of the song is, let's keep that let's keep that at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna keep writing, like we can write around it, but just like at the end of the day, everything has to point back to that idea.
Yeah. Every
Not-
time.
not the form, not the whatever
Yeah.
the idea is. you know?
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. You guys should pre-save
I'm
it.
excited about it too.
Yeah.
Go to, I don't know, link.
Yeah. Go.
No,
go
just
to our
be confident, just say
go,
it.
go to our link. The link in the bio of Instagram, and I think we have it on Facebook too. And yeah, it takes you to either saving it on. But basically, when you pre-save something, it goes into your library, and then on the day that it's released, it will send you a notification and show up on your playlist to be listened to
Oh, that's
on
cool.
Spotify. And then Apple
Dang, I didn't
Music,
know
I think it'll put it up in your library whenever it
That's pretty sick.
does that, which is really really neat.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
And also sends us your email.
Wait, don't say that.
but I'm afraid to say it. But there
well,
it
everybody
goes.
probably knows
Well,
that by now.
Yeah, well, it says that. It's like literally says that
Yeah.
in the thing. It says they're gonna
Trust
get
me,
your
we're
email.
not sending you.
Yeah. Last thing I wanna do.
yeah.
Does anybody you got to be at least worried about us?
It's definitely.
I think the other day we were like, has anybody checked the email in a while? Like we should
Yeah.
probably do that.
That's fun.
Yeah, that won't be us.
Yeah.
But yeah, very excited.
Let's do the song, guys. Tell me what you think. Seriously.
Yeah. Check
Yeah.
out. It's funny because it's like giving people besides that Radiohead cover we did. It's like giving people a glimpse at like what we all know the band to already be.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, like we are not the band that we understand. Like we are not that band to other people.
Yeah.
So or like yet, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've been basically like making content and material for like 2 years.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
looked today.
Longer,
It was
actually.
crazy. I looked today, and it has, like, when you click that link, you can see on Apple Music, it has the cover of In Two Places, and then below it says 2020. And I was like, wow, that looks good.
That's
And then
sick.
I looked back, and it's for under our other one. It said 2018. I was like, that came out 2 years ago.
That's insane.
That's crazy. I mean, we've been, of course, in the process of moving all over the place.
There's a lot
and
of change.
lot
Yeah.
of stuff going on, and then focusing just on like internet presence, because that was like kind of, but that's kind of the only thing we were able to do at that point.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
just
we
like
couldn't really be
doing
together.
something instead of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and we're almost complete. Almost complete. Just one member shy.
One member shy. One
Yeah.
little boy shy.
Yeah, but also the pre-save stuff. If you do it, it helps us get to eligibility for like different playlists, and it like puts more attention on us.
Yeah.
and gives us more credibility. So all that stuff is good.
yeah, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Have we said when the EP is coming out?
No,
there's no EP coming.
Nice.
that's not known yet.
Josh.
Nice. All right.
Smash that like button, hit the subscribe.
All I saw was just red coming back. Smash that.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. This is we're in a place now where we can finally be consistent about this, or like more consistent about this.
yeah.
I mean, unless some other
It's on the
like
schedule.
pandemic.
Just say that. Just say it's on the schedule.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube,
Smash that like
or
button.
checking it out on SoundCloud or something, like, yeah, just come back and hang out with us frequently because we got more coming for you.
Yeah, man.